All right, guys, and welcome back. As you see in the title, what we're gonna do here is going to be an engine mount swap, and it's going to be actually both of the sides, the driver and the passenger side. Now, this particular vehicle is a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2014 Overland, and it's the 5.7 liters V8 HEMI engine. And if I'm not mistaken, this is about 110 or 120,000 miles on it. Now, initially, I didn't try to replace the engine mount. The only thing that I tried to do is to fix the oil leak that is in the oil pan. Now, my last oil change, in order to prevent any leaks, I was using this product they called WK2 engine oil stop leak, and it works really good, but you have to be doing it every time that you do an oil change. But we all know that that is not a permanent fix. Now, the first engine mount that I decided to remove is the one on the driver's side. Now, the screw that you see in there on the bottom, they were not that complicated, to be honest. It's just a matter of you getting like your hand or your arm, around or through. You have plenty of space to do that. Now, the problem was the screw that is above the engine mount. That was the one that I couldn't figure out how to remove it. I removed the tire on the driver's side to try to have access, and I couldn't see any way that I can do none of that. But after more research, I figured out that the only way in order to access that screw was above the engine bay. As you see right there, I am using this Milwaukee 3/8 of an inch flexible impact joint. Otherwise, it's technically impossible, and you will need a couple extensions, together in order to reach, and you'll be able to kind of use your ratchet to remove it. Now, as you see in this setup, I'm using this 2x4 piece of lumber in combination with this Daytona hydraulic jack. I guess you gotta figure out in your own case which jack you're using and just measure it how long of a piece of lumber you will need in order to, be able to raise it up and off, as you see right here, slowly and carefully. I mean, I didn't have to remove anything above the engine bay, so this is one less thing to worry about, that you don't have to remove parts, above the vehicle, like the intake or anything like that. So it was a pretty good deal. Now, the only thing here, like once you raise it up, as you see, I'm just trying to show how much of a gap now that I have, because the screw that is on the engine mount is like fairly long, but it's not long enough that you need to like cut it or anything. Now, from here was just a matter of just wiggling it out, and as you see here, I'm gonna try to speed up like some of this part of the video, because I wanted you to see the full struggle that I was suffering. But like you see at the end, he was like easily just come off without any problems. Now, here's the difference between the old one and the new one. And as you see on the bottom, the new one looks, absolutely like flat and nice and all, brand new. And as you see, and the older one is just kind of like busted. And this was a dripping oil, in the engine too, like on the bottom of the vehicle. So there was a problem. Now, the only part that you gotta remove from the new one, at least at this specific part that I received, was this kind of piece of block of metal. I had no idea what if, maybe it applies in other vehicles, but not in this one. So now you're just right here, it's just a matter, just kind of like go backwards. And it's kind of like a little bit tricky too, because I think I tried to do it and I struggled a little bit, and I said like, how I'm gonna do this? So I guess I ended up like kind of like raising the engine a little bit more. Yeah, as you see right here. And I try to insert first, like the top screw from the engine mount. Once I did that, I kind of like just position it right on place, and I need to lower the vehicle, but I gotta make sure that this is on the right position. And as you see right here, I lower the vehicle a little bit more, and I just continue like adjusting, micro adjusting here and there, like making sure that I align this metal tab from the engine mount to the bottom of the engine frame. As you see there, that's just kind of the trick in there. Slowly, reducing, adjusting and lowering until you got everything just perfectly aligned. Then when you finally get it all the way down, now you can put all the screws back. Now, once you do that, you gotta like go above the engine bay and put the other screw, and you gotta actually use your hand just to start it, like the first thread. And after that, you can use your two extensions with your flexible impact joint to do the last tightening. Now here, this is the other side, this is the passenger side. Now, this was kind of tricky too. I thought it was going to be kind of like the same way, but it's impossible. If you see right there, isn't a screw in the way, so I cannot put the extension. So I need to approach this very differently. Now, you see me here trying to use this flexible joint, and then, that's when I realized that it's not going to work with the extension. Now, I use my baroscope in order to get this kind of closer view, because that was very tight. Now, you got to bend this down, this piece of aluminum, in order to be able to use your wrench and loosen up the screw and remove the engine mount. Now, as you see right here, again, I'm just showing you that this is the screw that we gotta remove, and we're not using this flexible impact joint. Now, just keep in mind, it's two screws next to each other. You're gonna ignore this second one. Now, I did this from above the engine bay, as you see right here. You know, I just insert my arm all the way in. I mean, I'm gonna like kind of have a close-up look over here. I'm gonna like flash it so you can see where's the wrench and how you position this in order to be able to loosen them up. If I'm not mistaken, I use here, I think I already like break it loose. I think I use like a kind of like long pry bar in order to kind of just break it loose, and then after that I use just my hand. And as you see right here, I just already removed the screw, and I'm just kind of showing a closer look of, you know, now that it's like gone, that it's not there. Now we're gonna go underneath the vehicle, and we're just gonna remove the two remaining screws. Now those two were like pretty much piece of cake. I mean, I got this flexible head wrench that facilitates the, you know, the removal of the screw. So it was pretty nice to have this tool available. So it was making it easier for me. Now I'm gonna leave the link of the engine mounts in the video description, or maybe in the comment section. But guys, if you have enjoyed and learned something, or I'm saving you money by doing this repair, please don't forget to like the video, and if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. That helps tremendously my channel to boost it. It's quite a bit of work to get all this footage done, and you know, like one of the stuff that make me smile at the end is when I see people giving likes and, you know, maybe comment, and I see people being happy and grateful for the actual showing of the repair. So thank you for all the love and all the support, and I'm sorry for the slow release of content. I mean, it was kind of the holiday season, and you know, I try to spend time with my family and friends and enjoy the actual season and not just being worried. I mean, my main source of income is not YouTube exactly, is doing jobs for my clients, but at the same time I try to produce these other videos that help you guys with your problems and your vehicle. I mean, this particular vehicle I think is very popular, and I'm pretty sure this repair is going to be useful for a lot of you. Now guys, be careful with your fingers right here. You know, I try to lower the thing at the same time, and I was like, whoa, like, you know, I should not have my fingers like this close, you know, once you so be careful with that. Now once I have that done, I was able to, down, I was able to put just the remaining two screws, and I'm towards the end of the video. Pretty much everything is done at this point. And again, you know, once you like have the screws aligned, and you gotta make sure that you like tighten as much as you can, because there's not gonna be much space to do this or to have like to torque them. You can't torque them, like, I mean, it's impossible unless you remove the engine, I guess. Well, like, here's the end. Now the other thing I'm gonna be showing you probably in the next video is how to do the oil pan gasket removal, and I'm gonna show the step-by-step how I did it. Now here's a little preview of what is coming on my next video, which is the oil pan gasket. I mean, this one becomes so much easier than the engine mounts. But alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.